Welcome to a special meditation in the sun with yours truly, Dragan. Eighth day of COVID 8 day, and feeling better. Decided to make instead of 5 recommended isolation self-quarantine days to take the extra precautions and do 10 days, come out on the 11th, do 10 days and come out on the 11th, do 10 days and come out on the 11th. So I do this meditation under the sun. It's close, a few meters away from my underground room, office, and temple. A few meters away from my underground room, office, and temple. A few meters away from my underground room, office, and temple. I'm gonna shut it off, and gonna be applying some sunscreen. And since it is special coughing, and it is officially still the Sabbath. It is officially still the Sabbath. Officially still the Sabbath. For a few hours, the Sabbath of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom starts Friday at midnight and lasts until about Sunday 3 p.m. It's currently 12:27 p.m. in the EST, and have a little bit of honey. Plus, my anonymous sister got me another honey the other day, and so I have honey and will fly, sweeten the coffee with this honey. This is local honey grown on top of a school, high school to be specific. I'm gonna apply some sunscreen. Perfect. First and foremost, I want to say that I'm grateful, thankful. My rent is paid for July in full. I'm grateful, thankful that my Electricity bill is paid in full for July. Half of my phone bill is also paid in full, so to that trinity of bills, fourth dimension to that trinity of bills being half my phone bill, my rent is paid in full, and my electricity bill is paid in full. Fourth dimension, have coffee and food. You're truly independent artist, independent activist, independent athlete, triple A athlete, artist, activist, activist, artist, athlete. Triple A adding a fourth dimension to that trinity of being an artist, an athlete, activist. Fourth dimension universal spiritual teaching student. Students that don't know it all have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. One thing is I do know is that Mother Nature is the greatest artist and activist and scientist. And I want to say thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, workers in sanitation of this city. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, workers in grocery store clerks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, doctors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bus drivers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers and butchers. Those bakers making bread, bagels, baguettes, different styles and sizes of bread. The butchers making some bacon, making some cutlets. The butchers, the butchers, the butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, train rail conductors. Thank you, love you, kiss you. I was working in warehouses wearing steel toe boots, loading, unloading, making pallets of goods. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those unloading the trucks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those loading the trucks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those working in the ports, railways. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those nurses and doctors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those pilots. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those workers in sanitation of the city. Thank you, love you, kiss you, construction workers and the infrastructure across this collective of North American civilization, across the collective of North American civilization. Yours truly here, independent artist, independent activist, independent athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, psychosexual theorist. My theories and analysis of sexuality and psychology. World's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet in the sun, meditation about nature and civilization. Being grateful, thankful that my rent is paid, my electricity bill is paid in full, my electricity bill is paid in full, my rent is paid in full, and one half of my phone bill is paid. So for that trinity of bills, got some coffee with some honey, got some coffee with some honey, got some coffee with some honey. You know, I may start wrapping a deliciously disgusting diatribe in the sun, philosophy in it. So once again, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, the farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those making a sandwich or preparing a coffee. Somebody going east, west, north, south, or coast to coast in the truck. So he drove 6 hours. He needs a cup of coffee or a small stop, pit stop. Somebody's making a coffee for the trucker so he can keep on driving across this collective of North American civilization, across the North American civilizational collective, to deliver the goods. Supply chains crisis coupled with inflation. There's beautiful two white butterflies flying, flying, flying. They look like they're having fun. Hopefully somebody's hugging, kissing right now, making LOV. Otherwise, what are we fighting a safe civilization for is my question, open question. Tomorrow, stock markets will open again. Monday, today's Sunday. Somebody will make a $500,000, maybe even $1 million on the stock market. That's what we're fighting to save this civilization and the free world, the system for. Once again, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, daycare workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those loading and unloading trucks, loading, unloading, or unloading the trucks, loading them. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, those workers unloading or loading the trucks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, those grocery store clerks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, those making coffee across a restaurant or a coffee shop or a big, small, or medium. Making a salad, preparing the pizza, making food, the cooks, the cooks, the cooks. Love you, kiss you, hug you, cooks. Food is holy, sacred, and divine. Food is holy, sacred, and divine. Food is holy, sacred, and divine. Calling for all to support the implementation of my Trinity of theories: citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. So that Trinity of theories applying a fourth dimension, LOV, love is action, not just blah blah blah. I'm here meditating in the sun in my COVID isolation. Decided I'm gonna do 10 days. Yesterday's been a week, so today's the 8th day, tomorrow will be the 9th, and Tuesday the 10th, and it's Wednesday. Break it, break it, break it. As I'm meditating now on this Hawk Island, Montreal. Beautiful, powerful, strong sun shining on me and the whole of North America, and not just North America, Let's see. It is 12:40 p.m. in the EST in Hawkeye, Montreal time. Is 12:40 in the afternoon, July 17th. July 17th. And sunset is at 8:40. And in Cairo, my close by the city of the pyramids, my home in many, many past lives. City of the pyramids, my home in many past lives. My home in many past lives. It is 6:41 p.m. So they still also have 2 hours of relative sun. So in 2 hours they're gonna have the sunset. So it covers also all of Africa at this point in time. And Europe, Berlin is 6:42 p. 6:41 p.m. So they also have about 2 hours of sun in Berlin. Jerusalem is 7:41. So in Jerusalem they have 1 more hour until sunset. So you can still see the sun. They see the sun in the west. 6:42 and 7 in Cairo and Berlin, Germany. It's 6:42 now. Jerusalem is 7:42. So they still have Berlin still has 2 hours of until sunset, and Jerusalem still has an hour until sunset. So the sun is still shedding light and life and heat also on Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and now it encompasses coast to coast Canada, right, coast to coast, because on the west coast, Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Washington State, San Francisco, Los Angeles in California, the sun is covering the whole of North America, the whole of Central America, the whole of South America. So all of Canada, well, except somewhere maybe there's clouds, storms covering XYZ square kilometers or square miles across the collective of North American civilization, across Canada, coast to coast. I am facing west. And of course, because Earth, planet Earth, revolves around the sun. The sun will be seen as, from our perspective, but we move. Of course, the Earth moves. The sun doesn't move. All the other planets move, revolve, is in motion around the sun, right? So all the life and the light and the heat from coast to coast, Canada, all of the United States of America, all of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, down to Ecuador, down to Colombia, down to Venezuela, down to Peru, down to the Guianas, French Guiana, Suriname Guyana, Dutch Guyana, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, so all of North America, Central America, South America, the sun all shining on the 17th of July. And of course, if we cross the equator line, it's the season switch. Here's summer, first weeks of summer. However, on the in the south, it is autumn, right? I mean winter. It's winter in the south. And they're heading towards spring, and when it's spring there, it's autumn there. And when it's autumn there, it's spring here. Kind of always by 2 seasons, right? 1, 2. So now it's winter season, and although they have mild winters, very mild compared to our winters here in Hawk Island, Montreal. So that dance, the forgotten goddess, as the Pope supposedly is supposed to come to province of Quebec, which I'm a Quebec, I'm Belle Province. And I want to ask the Pope one question. Say God, 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 but never say goddess, goddess, goddess. As in, of course, I expound in my philosophies. Goddess, Goddess, seven holy letters, the holy sacred divine word, which is on my mouth. I pronounce it, I say it, I meditate upon it, but not a lot of others. Right? So if it's the last video that I say, put on YouTube, get one view, one like, I'd be said that I, either none of dragons, uttered the word goddess. And as I'm a universal spiritual teaching student, because don't know it all and have many questions, do know that food is holy, sacred, and divine, and that all ALL fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and designed by the dance of the goddess with her bird, the sun. Of course, myself putting that in a more mystic way or spiritual way. You could say Mother Nature, planet Earth, but then this entity which we call home, all of us humanity, which we call home. What is it? There's mystery to it. Mystery, mystery. I don't have all the answers. But I do know that all the fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced, designed, created by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. All the fruits, vegetables, and legumes, including this black coffee bean, which comes from a red berry, harvested by one of my brothers or sisters, farmers. It doesn't say the country of origin of the coffee. Could be from Brazil, could be from Vietnam, could be from Uganda, could be from Ethiopia, could be from the Ivory Coast, could be from Cuba, could be from Colombia, could be from Panama, Costa Rica, Brazil. Could be. I don't know. The origins, I know it's dark roast, the type. And just like the coffee is initially in origins at the beginning, the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun creates, makes, and produces the coffee bean, just like all other fruits, vegetables, legumes, and grains are made, created, produced by the dance of the goddess. The black fertile earth. Inside the nutrients in the black fertile earth that exists within black fertile earth, the nutrients, the elements, vitamins, and the light and the life of the sun rays from the sun, the rays from the sun, and with water and the wind. All these elements produce all these fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters, farmers, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. That our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization. You know my work, as much brains and muscle as can have, and do have some brain and some muscle. That some things I am mediocre, some things I am average, some things I am so. Some things I suck. I'm effing useless. I'm great at philosophy, geopolitical theory, at spiritual matters, psychological matters, artistic matters, athletic matters, of geopolitical analysis and theory. I'm great, excellent, great at geopolitical analysis and theory. Super geopolitical analysis and theory. Excellent geopolitical analysis and theory. Some things I am so average, mediocre. We build complex civilizations and societies that are interdependent, interconnected. I believe my theory, citizen integration theory, citizen integration theory, citizen integration theory. CIT is the best to be implemented at this point in time on COVID, and to fight alienation. Since 1984, we had tremendous specialization, but it has driven a lot of people to be so disconnected from each other. Not only due to that, but so I believe one of my answers to be applied into practice, citizen integration theory via the Dragan Army, to be for security and service for the 21st century, officially the National Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force. To bring all existing private and public security forces and organizations, apply citizen integration theory, obey east, west, north, south, in parallel with other creative artists or theories. To apply the citizen integration theory. So as I'm here in Hawk Island, Montreal, on this Sunday, I can be grateful. I'm feeling better from COVID. I'm triple vaccinated. I encourage my brothers and sisters to increase in hygiene in public. Wash the hands with soap, disinfect, sanitize. Wash the hands with soap, disinfect, sanitize when you go in public, right? You go in public. Because I'm in my own room, office, and temple. I can retain and just be private. I share a lot of my philosophy, my art, my struggles, my sufferings, all that I share with artistic, activists, athletics, philosophy, poetry, theory, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Yours truly, Adrian, dragon, androgynous, pansexual forms of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. Everything that I share thereof. But I can just be private. Private room, office, and temple, and step outside. I'm no longer just private citizen dragon, I'm also public. So added responsibilities and obligations, duties, obligations, and responsibility are added to my private self. This public responsibilities, duties, and obligations. So I am willing to keep the washing of the hands, washing of the hands when going in and out of a public building, a bank. Just wash your hands with soap, disinfect when you go in and out of a bank, disinfect. Disinfect with soap if it's available there, or I still am carrying, see. It's running a bit low, I'm gonna have to refill it. Open carrying, and open it, pop it, drop, and rub. It's a demonstration. Open it, sit. It's running low, I'm gonna have to refill. Running low, I'm gonna have to refill. Running low, I'm gonna have to refill. I still have some refills, so. Okay. been in isolation, so I didn't need to refill it. See my videos that I've been in isolation, so I didn't need to refill it. Isolation, so there was no need to refill the. There's no need for a refill. Civilization, let's face it, has its discontents. It's not just economic, financial, commercial, although at this moment it's playing a huge, important part is inflation. What is inflation? What is inflation? Inflation is the loss of purchasing power of the currency. In this case, Canadian dollar. Buying less for the same amount. Buying less for the dollar. Less bread, less milk, less butter. Or whatever the case may be. So it diminishes the purchasing power. Basically, that's what inflation is. You buy less for the same amount of money. The currency can, because inflation applies to different currencies. I mean, Canadian, so mostly dealing in Canadian dollars. Canadian dollar. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but nonetheless, inflation is high in Canada. Inflation is high in the United States. Inflation is high in the Eurozone and across the world from right here. Because the markets, globalization has occurred over decades. It didn't happen in 3 weeks, in 3 months, in 3 years. It happened over more than 30 years, more than 3 decades, right? To arrive at this globalized, economic, financial, commercialized trade system, which we had in the past years. Right? Globalization of an economic, financial, commercial nature. Of course, the prices of gas, which is linked with transportation, the transportation of goods costing more. Right? For a truck bring oranges from Florida or avocados from Mexico, it costs more since the price of gas. Price of gas more than doubled since February 2020. More than doubled. It was 93 cents average price of gas for Canadian in Hawk Island metropolis. I live in the metropolis known as Hawk, H-A-W-K, Hawk Island. It's an island surrounded by a big river called the St. Lawrence River. It's roundabout. It's an island. A big island, but it's an island with several little archipelagos. It can be called an archipelago, with the main island being Montreal Island. Island of Montreal, H-A-W-K, Hawk Island, Montreal. Nonetheless, right? And now I want to listen to Alexander Dugin. I've been studying, listening to Alexander Dugin. Which is called Putin's philosopher. And if you want to have an in-depth analysis of the geopolitical matters, whatever the US-China trade war, North American civilizational collective, or the current Ukraine-Russia conflict, the current Russia-Ukraine conflict, the current Russia and Ukraine conflict, or other geopolitical matters, sponsor, finance, commission some work, provide an in-depth thorough analysis analyzing historical events, voting trends in consideration within a greater geopolitical regional context of trade, of past conflicts, or XYZ, exploring it in a deep, profound way. So now I'm gonna be listening to Alexander Dugin. Is a philosopher, geopolitical philosopher and theorist. from Russia, which I think is very important for us to understand. So I'm going to be listening to Alexander Dugin. Alexander Dugin is a geopolitical analyst and theorist and wrote several books labeled as X, labeled as Y. Nonetheless, I could just, if I am to describe somehow, I will say that is, from what I do know so far, and can only learn more and more, a hardcore philosopher. Has been described as Putin's brain, and from his interviews, it's pretty hardcore business that we're facing at the moment with the Ukraine-Russia crisis, the Western Russia crisis, for example. This whole NATO involved, which Canada is part of NATO, and the European Union, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. To understand, because I am calling for peace, as I am calling all Willingly Loving, local, national, international, support the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom's world peace work, world peace work via not just push-ups, squats, and hawks, but cups of coffee and meditation, but also through action, implement and create the two complementary and covenant and cooperative institutions of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. So we will now listen to Alexander Dugin and meditate, maybe provide myself an analysis of the situation. This is from an interview with Alexander Dugin.
So how to do that in the future, I mean, Zelensky will of course go sooner or later, some preliminary government will go there, but how for Russia to hold it in the future, because they will have some democratic elections in some month, this year or next year or something.
Thank you. Now that is the real challenge for us. Now we all are praying and dreaming about the end of this bloody conflict. So for us, the most important thing is to end this conflict. It's of the first goal, but we should carefully take in consideration what Mr. Putin has said about the final goals of this special military operation. And I suggest you to take his word seriously this time, because it is enough to not hear what President of nuclear power says. It's enough. The price is too high, I think, to ignore his words. He has said about the goal of this special military operation: 2, demilitarization and denazification. What does it mean in the real politics? That in order to accomplish both goals, we need to take the full strategical control over all the territory of Ukraine. Without non-militarization, if there will be this small path.
I take a picture of the smoke. It just flew away. Red card now.
Of Ukraine. With NATO help, it could easily be transformed in new challenge for Russia. So no demilitarization of Ukraine, because Putin didn't say demilitarization, denazification of Donbass. He said that clearly. We could judge that morally in different way. He has affirmed the goals of this special military operation: demilitarization of Ukraine. In order to grant that, we need full-scale territorial control over all the space of this country. Next, denazification. Denazification is radical demand, and that is condition of let the Ukraine regime. How to fulfill that? We need full political control over country. Full. Without this full strategical and military control and full political control over society, this goal we could not achieve. It's clear. So, what we are going to do then, after achieving these explicitly affirmed goals? I will not say. So it is up to Ukrainian people to decide, but not before, but after. In that sense, if we consider what we should do in order to pursue these two goals, it's clearly that nothing will be the same as now. Nothing. Maybe no borders will be the same. No Ukraine will be the same. Nothing. No, there will be new capital. Maybe there will be unification with Donbass and Crimea. That could be two Ukraines or Ukrainian Confederation. They could.
First time that I see this, that's why I was interrupted. Temperature iPhone needs to cool down before I can use it. So. I'm gonna put it in the shade. Well, not sure what temperature it is. It is hot, but that was the interruption of the Alexander Dugin. First time I see that. An iPhone, it's temperature. That message that the iPhone needs to cool down before using it. It's fine. Alexander Dugin's analysis, or listening to Alexander Dugin, can wait nonetheless. He's a pretty hardcore philosopher, studying, reading this in order to understand the current conflict and modern day Russia of today. A lot of Alexander Dugin's philosophies and policies, proposed policies and theories and geopolitics is part of understanding modern day Russia in many ways. Not 100% fully, but somewhat. So, myself being a philosopher, independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, a great geopolitical analyst and theorist. It's like when I've created my general war integrated total body training system, aka the Dragan Army workout, of which I've done more than 260 since I've began in October 2019. October 2019, I began it, of course, as an independent athlete, being on a fitness journey, an independent fitness captain, independent fitness captain, independent fitness captain. I lost more than 77 pounds, working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy for yours truly. Of course, I do believe it can be for many. I have been and will advocate for the mass financing of my brothers and sisters to work out, train, exercise, and the Dragon Army to encourage people to work out, train, exercise, the public-private partnership thereof, having them and will advocate thereof. Nonetheless, back in October 2019, geopolitical analysts and theorists had analyzed the geopolitical regions and the events, geopolitical events. Back in October 2019, had sounded the alarm and had come to the conclusion that we humanity are on a path towards World War III, towards an international conflagration. And so created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with such an event, the World War III scenario. Back in October 2019, October 17, 2019 was the first time that I've performed and done the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, workout training system of which I'm very proud to have created, and that it's a perfection. Simple, effective, and efficient. It requires no equipment whatsoever. You can work out, train, exercises. Doesn't require equipment. Doesn't require any any gym membership. It's push-ups, hacks, and squats. Trinity of exercise. You can see hundreds of them on YouTube or on my Facebook page, of course. And see hundreds of my workout training videos, which nonetheless, when I've created, made, and designed it to go, of course, hand in hand with a World War III scenario. After sounded the alarm, and my analysis came to the conclusion, brothers and sisters, that back then, back in October 2019, we were on humanity. Humanity was again on a path, PATH, on a path towards an international conflagration, aka World War III. Paradoxically, as a world peace advocate, this is a paradox. I still am a world peace advocate, but I recognize that I have aggression within myself. I recognize my own nature. I don't play the self-righteous card. I do have lusts. I do have issues. Get moody, get upset. Get the lower part of self. I try to be in the balanced, in the middle path of self, psychosexual and social self, in the middle, less selfish but not totally selfless. In my spiritual path and psychological attainments. I'm not totally without being selfish, but not totally selfish and not totally selfless. I try to stay in the middle, in the balance. Sometimes with a foot dragging on the higher self, which my psychosexual, spiritual, psychological, and sexual theory that and teaching is that we have a tripartite self with two extremes: the lower self, the middle self, the higher self. And this can be in a physical way, in a psychological way, in a sexual way, and then the higher self, the high, normally within those three: middle, low, high. And sometimes we're a foot in the lower, and sometimes we're a foot in the higher. Most we try to stay in the middle at least, but there's also the lower, the low and the highest of the high. We can go sometimes between them depending on XYZ circumstances and whatever matters. It can be case by case, of course, day by day. Such a situation, but nonetheless, of course, back in 2019, I had already come to the conclusion that the trend is there towards an international conflagration, meaning a global conflict, aka World War III. So I did create a World War III scenario to go hand in hand with my training program, which I'm proud to have created. Proud to have performed more than 260 so far, with special ones in the Sun Long ones, challenging the athletes in the patriarchal sports leagues, the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NHL, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. I'm saying for patriarchal sports leagues because, let's face it, there's no women's sports leagues that makes even close financially, economically, commercially to what the aforementioned patriarchal sports leagues makes. Not even close, right? It's not even close. Economically, financially, commercially, let's be honest. Multi-million, the owners of the CEOs of the four patriarchal sports leagues of the NBA, National Basketball Association, NHL, National Hockey League, NFL, National Football League, MLB, multi-millionaires and billionaires, the owners and the players, average salaries, there's millions, and there's not even one women's sports leagues which makes even close financially, economically, commercially, financially, commercially to what the patriarchal sports leagues make. Not even close. Right? And as much as I love and women's soccer or women's basketball, economically speaking, not necessarily by talent or by the beauty of sport or by the athletics, but economically, financially, commercially, the women's sports leagues is not even close. Only a percentage. It's 10,000, 50, 40,000 a year. Some players like 50,000, 60, some maybe 100,000. That's a tenth of a million. How many in the patriarchal sports leagues make 5 million a year, 6, 7, 3 million a year, even more than 10 million, even 15, 20, 25 in basketball. Compare that with women's basketball, right? It's not even close economically, financially, commercially. I mean, not necessarily that it's athletics, it's wow, women's soccer and women's basketball. Right? It's wow, I love it. It's nice hockey, right? But economically, financially, commercially, there's not even close, not even half, not even a third, not even a quarter, not even 10%. Let's be honest. It is what it is. It is what it is. For the dancing goddess army to be an integrated dance league, to have professional sports and integrated dance, like everybody can dance at all levels of dancing. It's my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. And dancing is a sport. That's for me a mode of worship, mode of celebration, mode of spiritual meditation. I'm not perfect. Get moody, get upset, get lustful, got issues, vices. I have them. Don't play the self-righteous card here. I am higher than thou, and and I do say the word goddess. Goddess dances with her brother the sun and has danced and will dance after Adriana Dragan's gone. With her brother, right? With her brother the SUN, the sun, who now covers, sheds light on Canada, United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, right, all the way to the Guyana, French Guyana, Dutch Guyana, Colombia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, North America, Central America, and South America. Even it's going towards sunset now. It's part of Europe, part of Africa. Now they're starting to have their sunset close. 20 minutes, they're starting their sunset, right? They're having it close with the sunset. Now here it's past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm facing west, and the more west I go, gotta subtract minus on the west coast, Vancouver, British Columbia, we gotta minus subtract 3 hours. BC, British Columbia, Vancouver, Seattle, Washington State, got a minus 3 hours there. 3 hours. Canada is 4.5 hours time zone. Canada is 4.5 hours. No, Canada is 4.5 hours from the easternmost point to the westernmost point. Canada being the second largest geographically. Canada is the second largest in geography, in expanse. Kilometers, square kilometers, Canada is the second. I think 9.7, and Canada is 9.11 million or 9.7 million. What is Canada? Yeah, it's 11 million square kilometers, something like that. Is the second that I know, because Russia is first. From coast to coast, from one extreme, from the easternmost part of Russia to the westernmost, or vice versa, there's more than 11 time zones. So almost 12. So when somewhere when it's midnight in Russia, it's in the afternoon almost. It's in the morning 11. Russia has 11 time zones. So plus 11 hours and minus 11 hours from the two extremes of Russia. Let's say from the tip close to Eastern Europe, Belarus, Romania, Ukraine. They have borders with Ukraine and Belarus and Hungary and the Baltic states, from the tip, from Moscow to Vladivostok, being close to the Koreas, close to the Pacific Ocean. 11 times huge, almost twice the size of, in terms of size of Canada. Not twice, but almost twice the size. Russia. Population-wise, Russia, 156 million, something like that. 156 million. Not sure. I'm not sure. Canada, we're close to 38 million, right? Canada, we're getting close to 38 million Canadians. Close. So doing this meditation now, got all the fruits, vegetables, and legumes, tomatoes, potatoes, grains, wheat, my favorite grapes, my favorite fruit is grapes. If I want to sponsor a commission, feed me grapes. Want to sponsor a commission, you don't have a Dragan eating grapes. But at this moment in time, so much light, life, and heat, and vitamins from all that life and light and energy of the sun is being shed. Even part of Europe still, right? Because it's 6 hour difference. So in Berlin, there's still life and light and life being shed on Africa, North America, Central America, South America, all the way from Brazil to Canada, and in between US, Mexico, Guatemala, Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Colombia, the Guyanas, Bolivia, Peru, Chile. Unless there's, could be that it's storm somewhere, it's raining, that it's clouds somewhere, it could be. But nonetheless, all that life is being shed now, and the process continues. The dance makes fruits, vegetables, and legumes on all this continent. Brothers and sisters, farmers, with the knowledge, the wisdom, the expertise, they harvested for us, for me to philosophize, do this video, to dance, to work out, to train, to write poetry, continue writing children's books. And the money is a unit of exchange. And what is money? Money. A unit of exchange is a unit of exchange. Money is a unit of exchange for me to buy, sell, for you to buy, sell, for me and you to buy and sell from each other or from somebody else. That is money, currency. To facilitate trade, facilitate exchange of goods or services, of goods of services, of goods of services. Myself have services to offer. Massages, working out training, push-ups, hawk squats, dances, philosophy, intellectual ideas, creative ideas, short stories, children's books, adult books, ideas for movies, scripts, things of that nature. The creative aspect. Somebody's entertainment, somebody's joy, somebody's pleasure, somebody's meditation, intellectual. But some things are mediocre. Some things I'm average, some things I'm so-so. Basketball, I'm maybe too short. Play hoop, throw. I'm okay at football, sack, defense, defense. I'm great at push-ups. I'm good at push-ups, squats, hard. Doing a general war integrated whole body training system. That's sport. General war integrated whole body training system. Super great, excellent at that because I've done more than 260 so far. Parallel life science, innovation, and technology is my chosen path. Where satellites, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, gadgets, smartphones, microchips is my universe. That's all I do. Write code, build satellites, satellite telecommunications, satellites, microchips, software, supercomputers, in that parallel life. Trying to connect with that parallel life gives me a headache. Gives me 56,000 pages to read in 3 days. I'm like, whoa. Too much technical jargon. But in this life, it's philosophy, theory of a philosophical nature, political, psychological, sexual, psychosexual together, the irrational, emotional life which matters, the spiritual world, geopolitical analysis, independent artists, artistic artwork, creative stories, short stories, writing scripts, writing ideas, poetry. But 2 plus 2 equals 4, but doesn't mean we gotta write it all in black or all in white or only one color red. My favorite color, the Dragan Army red. Dancing God is green. You can write it in all the colors of the rainbow. 2 plus 2 equals 4, you can write 2 in red. The plus line, we can write 1 in black and white. The other 2, we can write it in green. The equal line, we can write the top black, the white, or vice versa. And the 4, we can write one line in orange, the other in pink, the other in purple. So in that equation, 2 plus 2 equals 4, we can integrate the black and the white and the colors of the rainbow. So that's the synthesis, the correlation, and that science and technology and logic, science and technology, the mathematics, the logic, the science can work hand in hand and be complementary to our psychological natures, to our sexual natures, irrational, emotional, feelings matter, emotional. I get upset, I can't hear your words, whatever, XYZ. I have aggression, I have aggression. I channel it. Sublimate and channel. Keywords of my psychological, philosophical, sexual, spiritual philosophies. Channeling and sublimate. Sometimes it's hard. I've been depressed, I've been suicidal, I've been down and out. Action is required. Action is required. Action is required. Action is required, because if not action, there's stagnation, and there's parasitical relationships forming, toxic, and I am dealing with toxicity within myself. Working out, training, exercising. I say, that I have toxicity, and I have, or to somebody else that I'm toxic. It's possible. I dealt with cravings, irrational lusts and urges, and down negative feelings, emotion. Try to be in my medium self and step in the higher self. But action is required. Action is required. Action is required. Sublimating a channel, keywords. It's required to take action. Doing. I get hungry, food I have. My rent's paid in full. I'm grateful, thankful. My electricity bill is paid in full. I'm grateful, thankful. Half of my phone bill is paid in full. I am grateful, thankful. That trinity of bills, fourth dimension, have coffee and fruit. But food needs to be cooked. I need to do something. I need to take action. I don't have servants. I don't have enough money to order out from the restaurant. I'm on a budget. Economically, financially, commercially struggling. Can't order. Can't order. I cannot order. Cannot order. Cannot order. Cannot order out. Right? So if I want to cook my noodles, I gotta put energy and do. Boil the water, boil the noodles, or boil the water, make myself noodles. I have patties that only need to be heated. They're already fully cooked. Chicken, breaded chicken patties. Okay. I do still have to do. I clean my room. I gotta do. I'll keep on posting, working on training, continuing even this work. What do I do have? This only application on this laptop. I am grateful for it. It's not the best quality of video or audio. Is not the best audio or video quality. Is not the best audio or video quality. But my voice, my philosophy, the words are more important. You see me nonetheless in the videos, workout videos, doing workouts more than an hour, workouts more than 2 hours, some more than almost 3 hour workouts without the introduction, doing hundreds of push-ups, hundreds of squats, and hundreds of workout videos. They're still there. Still work. I put in more work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. I put in more work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. I put in more work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. So action is required. If I feel moody, upset, come in the sun, start philosophizing over coffee, or go for a march, or push-ups. Do squats, do hawks, push-ups, squats, hawks, do hawks, push-ups, do push-ups. Money. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's not all about it. What is money? What is money? Money is a unit of exchange for trade and serve services. But if there's open market, I can put services to the trade. I can trade something for something. I can trade something for something. Trade something for something. trade. Skills, competences, knowledge, doing. A trade. Because money, currency, what is money? It's a unit of exchange, an instrument to trade goods, to trade services, or goods and services, or both. It's an instrument that facilitates trade, business, exchange of goods, buying, purchasing, buying, selling, acquiring, or getting rid of goods or services. That's it. Money, money, money. It has past decades a lot of dissociation, disconnect for the essence, the fundamental, the origin of what money is. For what money is. Unit of exchange, facilitating trade, exchange of goods and services. Fundamentally, in essence, that's what money is. We have different currencies. Currencies fluctuate. The forex is the biggest market in the world. You see me doing readings on forex and finance, hour-long readings, reading for more than 2.5 hours, educating, learning. Now we have apps, we have all these technologies, but the fundamentals of the fluctuations of currency hasn't changed for decades. Now there is a little bit of added this and added that, but fundamentally currencies fluctuate according to import export, export import, import export, export import. Trade deficits, or could be situations, a new war such as the US. Coffee there. Fundamentally, that's what's money. Money is money, currency. Unit of exchange to facilitate trading, exchanging goods and services and goods and services, buying and selling, selling and buying and selling. That's what money is. Fundamental. essence. That's what money is. Buying, selling goods or services, putting on the market, facilitating the trade and exchange of goods in different markets. I'm on the market. I'm on the market. On the internet.
Hey!
Yo.
You're yelling, aren't you?
No. I'm whispering.
What are you talking about?
Money.
I don't know what you're talking
Sisters. My sister. I asked my sister to marry me. She said no. I asked my sister to marry me. She said no. I asked my sister to marry me. She said no. So let's try to see if we can get Mr. Dugin back, Alexander Dugin back.
So, Putin would accept Ukraine without Russia-phobic Nazi regime. How to fulfill that? We need full political control over country. Full. Without this full strategical and military control and full political control over society, this goal we could not achieve. It's clear. So, what we are going to do then after achieving these explicitly affirmed goals? I could not say. So it is up to Ukrainian people to decide, but not before, but after. In that sense, if we consider what we should do in order to pursue these two goals, it's clearly that nothing will be the same as now. Nothing. Maybe no borders will be the same. No Ukraine will be the same. Nothing. No, there will be new capital. Maybe there will be unification with Donbass and Crimea. That could be two Ukraines or Ukrainian Confederation. They could be reunification, theoretically, of all three East Slavic Republic, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, with new constitution, with new rules for elections. So nobody knows nothing. At least myself, I have no idea how it will be formed or arranged, but I would like to suggest it's too early to say that. Putin will stop after achieving his goals. He started this military operation that costed already to us full disconnection from all the normal functioning system of our relations with the global society, not only with the West, with the global world. And we have paid such a price and cost already for this special military operation. So without achieving these two goals explicitly announced, we could not. It is not responsible to think how it will be finally. So, first of all, achieve these goals, and that is not easy. That is absolutely not easy. That is not safari trip. No, it is difficult fight against military system. We need to crash, still need to crash totally, destroy, and put under control, and very radical and very strong Nazi ideology that prevails on nationalists. Nazi, it is more radical form. National ideology that prevails in the Ukraine. So, without achieving this goal, no future for us. So, and I would like to understand how serious Putin is. How serious? How we have taken away everything. Not only Nord Stream 2 or Nord Stream 1, we have sacrificed all, not only the yacht of oligarchs, all we have. So if we pay such a price, so that means in very balanced, very careful, very scrupulous Russian president, that means much. So he waited as long as he could. He avoided as long as he could, as careful as he could. And if he did that, so there was no any solution that I could swear. So, in my opinion, personal opinion, not political opinion, we should do that much earlier, and we would pay much lesser price. But the goodwill of Putin is much more serious factor as my geopolitical vision. He understands geopolitics in facts, not in thoughts. He is practical geopolitics. So he does the necessary step only in the last moment, when they are unavoidable. I would prefer to do that much earlier and much easier and without such radical and violent conflicts. And we could that, and we missed the opportunity. But that this delay for 8 years is the sign of the profound hatred of our president to the violence and to make war. He hates the war. And that, or special military operations, he hates as well. Special military operation. He doesn't love it. Maybe in his place, I would start it for sure much earlier, and maybe not let no republic get out of our common country. But Putin is a liberal Democrat. He's very Western in his opinion. He is very careful about the global rules, and if he violates some of them, so that means he has no other solution in his very liberal, democratic, globalist almost vision of the world. And that is serious. That is why it is not extravagant, some unbalanced, hysterical step. That is for sure. So Putin calculated everything, and without achieving these goals, he will not stop, and nothing would stop him. Nothing, including nuclear threat, as he has said. So everything is serious, and this geopolitical explanation shows how really serious it is.
Watching The Point with me, Li Xin. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be hearing from a leading visionary behind the geographic notion of Eurasia. Why does he believe that China and Russia should work together to build a multipolar world? Stay with us. Putin's brain. Others have described him as the most dangerous philosopher in the world. Yes, the political scientist and philosopher Alexander Dugin says that his native Russia has simply been pursuing a new path to define who the Russians are and where they're going ever since the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. While many ex-Soviet republics have sought closer relations with Europe, Russia envisions a different future. To Dugin, this is the concept of Eurasia as a counterweight to American domination and transforming a unipolar system into a multipolar world. Yet, how does Dugin expect China to work with Russia to counter Western hegemony to create this new Eurasia? How are China and Russia expected to build their relationship to the highest level in history in the meantime? I'm pleased to be joined by Professor Alexander Dugin himself. Professor Dugin, welcome to the point. Let me ask you, what do you mean by this idea of a Eurasia? You're one of the very strong proponents of this idea. So explain to us why you think it is important, exactly what it is all about, and what is the role of Russia and China in that?
So first of all, Eurasia is multi-layer idea, multi-layer concept. It's not easy to explain that. I have dedicated to that many books in order to explore what is Eurasia. Eurasia, first of all, it is idea that the West should not have hegemony in defining the universal standard. So it's because West or Europe or the West in general is only part of the humanity, and the other part, and the majority of the human beings live outside of the West in Asia. And Russia, in my opinion, is as well the meeting point between the West and the East, and that is our identity, our mission to bring together all parts of the humanity in order to start the kind of dialogue. So our proper Russian identity is not Western. We are Eurasians, but for example, China or India are Asian countries, Asian civilization, and that is not the reason to underestimate them. Eurasia is an invitation to restore the dignity of all kinds of society, Western and not Western, and put them in the dialogue.
Is there a geopolitical boundary of this Eurasia idea? Does it also include Western Europe, for instance? Does it include Southeast Asia, or is Europe and Asia in total?
We could use the term Eurasia in geographic sense. In that sense, it includes Europe. We could speak about Eurasia only as Turanian places, old Turan that is the place of Genghis Khan Empire or traditional Russia. That is a narrow understanding. Or we could include in Eurasia all parts except Western Europe that belongs to the West. But we could use as well the term of Eurasia as we are using the term the West. For example, we are speaking West, Japan is Western country. So Eurasian, to be Eurasian is to affirm our identity against Western hegemony. In that sense, we could speak about some Eurasianism inside of United States of America, in Latin America, and Africa, or elsewhere. So Eurasia is a new concept that challenges the Western hegemony in general, opposing to this exclusivism of the Western culture, inclusivism of this dialogue of the culture. This is the defense of diversity.
It's not new for other civilizations to want to be at least on equal footing with the Western civilization, and yet to have at least Central Eastern Europe together with parts of Asia as one block, as one identity. This is interesting. What makes you believe that this is going to work, that there is a common identity unifying these two civilizations?
I think that, for example, in the history, China was the great and independent civilization, not only country, civilization united around itself in the Tianxia concept, the other peoples and culture. Russia as well was not only ethnic Slav country, that was as well civilization. And now these two ancient civilization that belongs to as well as India, but let us speak about Russia and China more first, because we represent these two ancient civilizations always struggling to be on the equal relations with the West. That was obviously more aggressive, more active. But now, for example, in the bipolar world, Russia and China, we belong to the socialist camp, as well trying in the modernity to reaffirm our identity and independence. And now we are using this evident crisis and catastrophe of the globalization in liberal way, this crisis of unipolar world and liberalism of the West, we are using now in order to restore our dignity. And I think that now we have two major factors here: the growth of independence of Russia and strategical position of nuclear weapon that is enough to grant to us independence and sovereignty, and huge economic and political and social rise of China. So we have two elements of multipolar world. We have two pillars of Eurasia just now, and the only thing that rests to understand each other for Russian and Chinese. And that is precisely what is going on between our presidents, between our countries, between our peoples. We are in a moment, the crucial moment, we are living in the crucial moment of this emergence of Eurasia, of multipolarity, and at least two civilizations that are ready now to defend our independence and our autonomy.
I understand this theory is quite well received by the Putin government, by the Russian government, and it seems that the foreign policy that they are pushing forward is very much in line with that kind of theory that you just outlined. So for the West, and for people in the West, what would it mean in concrete terms that there is a rising Eurasian identity to counter the Western identity?
I think that we have nothing against the West. We are struggling against Western hegemony. If the West will be the West as such, having its own values, not our